This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to Digital Perspectives. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradley above at the top of the screen. Let's go ahead and get into this. Let's do the numbers. I've been doing the numbers, and the reason I've been doing that, I think it's good that I start doing it again. For one, I've had people ask me about it. And number two, I think it'd be a great way for us to go back in time and always know at the beginning of the video, you can say, hey, what was the price last week? I want to compare it. You know, we can always do that on the quick too. So right now, Bitcoin is $11,846.60. Ethereum, $433.51. XRP back at 30 cents, 0.3014. We are right now down about 1% on the 1 day. We're up 2.5% on the 7 day. And we're sitting at about 2.4 billion, almost 2.5 in 24-hour volume. And the total circulating supply is 44,918,000,000. Those are your numbers. The numbers today are brought to you by PureVPN. Guys, protect your anonymity online. Make sure you get it. There's a link in the description box and the comment section. 7 days, 99-cent trial period. You've never felt so safe, and I certainly never have. I use it, and I feel great about it. And I love knowing that people don't know my IP address. And as our crypto holdings get bigger and bigger and bigger, which you are going to find out over this news here, certainly looks like that will be the case as the coming months and years to come. So make sure you check out that link. Also, join the newsletter, and there's an educational course that I just finished. So anybody new into the crypto, you want a quick up-to-date course. It's a very affordable course. It's not expensive at all. Make sure you take that course. It's 2 hours and 40-some minutes worth of educational content, and it'll really, really get you caught up to where you need to be in this space. So, and I will continually add to that course as well. So make sure you get on that email list. And I will have an interview that is exclusively going to be released in that newsletter with Diana Adachi, who is formerly of Accenture and did the due diligence on Ripple. You won't believe her amazing insight on Ripple and XRP and the entire crypto space and the things that she sees to come for all of us. So, okay, make sure you check that out. Let's start today with this. DJ Peter Vass, great to see you. Ripple reveals $2 billion XRP remittance volume milestone. Wow. CEO says the crypto asset can solve a $10 trillion problem. We touched on this. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but Ripple is revealing just how much volume has flowed through its XRP remittance platform since its launch in October of 2018. Congratulations to everybody at Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse and crew. You guys do so much. It's amazing. Let's keep this thing going here. And on the other side of the world, 4 of the top 5 South Korean banks are set to introduce crypto custody services. The move comes from ahead of the government's legislation for digital currencies. Demand for alternative assets like Bitcoin has surged, said the banks. So again, you know, when I look at this stuff, it's always really good, I think, when we can see the international collaborative effort to move at a certain pace to keep everyone on track around the world. Now, I know a lot of people think the U.S. is behind and dragging their feet and all of these things, and I have always felt that the U.S. is not behind. They have just not revealed their hand, and I think you're going to see evidence of that in some of this information we're about to look at. But I also believe that the reason that is because they are the largest economy of the world, and once they say it's go time, and once they've got the clarity release that they need, I think the world obviously will follow suit if they aren't already in place. So, and a large number of the world is. So shout out to them in the Asian region there in Korea for being on top of it. And Singapore, another leader in this space, central banks backs new code of practice guidelines for crypto companies. The Monetary Authority of Singapore facilitated the Code of Practice Guidelines initiative to help regulatory compliance and enhance cryptocurrency industry conduct. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, you can't possibly at this point if you're out here in this space, believe any of this just happens to be coincidence that Singapore and Korea and now the U.S. working on a digital dollar and Russia and China and all of the other players of the world just happen to be working on these things at the same time. It's no coincidence at all. So let's keep this moving. And to speak of no coincidences, shout out to Barry Silbert. Whoa, Grayscale. Thrilled to share that Grayscale had our largest fundraising week ever. $217 million invested into Grayscale funds. Guess you liked the commercial. Let's go ahead and watch that commercial again, because this is history right here, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what I find to be really interesting about all of this, is that we have seen for the first time in history, cryptocurrency is on mainstream media, and it's not going away. It's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Watch.
Before money, people traded goods, tools, cattle, grain, even shells represented value. Then currency came along. They made it out of copper, gold, silver, wampum. Soon people decided to put all that value into a piece of paper, then proceeded to wave goodbye to value, printing unlimited amounts of money as they passed the buck to the future. That's why it's time for digital currency and your investment in the Grayscale funds. Go digital. Go Grayscale. Before money, people...
Go Grayscale is right. Congratulations to Grayscale and Barry Silbert. Wow. You know, this is one of many. And this is going to start happening on the regular. And they are setting a record. And it seems to me that they will be setting records for a long time to come. Because this is not going to get any smaller. There's only one way this is going. And up is the direction. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, that's really great, but, the prices keep falling. A market naturally breeds with buys and sell-offs. What I'm talking about here is not a bull run. What I'm talking about is far bigger than that. What I'm talking about is a bull market. And I mean a bull market that will last for possibly 3, 5, maybe even 10 years. That's what I'm interested in. I mean, a bull run is great, and I'll certainly take it. I won't kick it out of bed for eating crackers. But I want to see a bull market. I want to see the staying power. And the only way that that happens is really twofold. It's the investment in large degree on an institutional level. And then it's obviously the use case utility becoming the new watermark for the crypto asset space. And that is where I believe XRP wins in the long run. So, okay, on both counts. So, Grayscale Investments has best fundraising week. Shout out to Michael Val 5 Links for sending that through as well. Wanted to showcase him on that. And it's really exciting to see this start to happen for the crypto space. It really, really is. Now let's change gears just a little bit. The U.S. Federal Reserve published details about a 2019 payments trial involving distributed ledger technology, specifically the HyperLedger Fabric blockchain group found that HyperLedger Fabric and similar DLT platforms have potential payment uses. You don't say. But I thought everybody said that the U.S. was dragging their feet. I thought everybody said that they were going to miss being a leader in this tech race. Why, I've even seen Chris Larson and Brad Garlinghouse echoing these sentiments out on Twitter as if they didn't have a phone number from somebody in the government or the regulatory agencies to even call. I just love optics. And what I see is optics when I see things like this, on Twitter. I think they're optical, right? It's all about the optics of it. It's what it looks like, right? Especially to retail holders and things of that nature. The reality is that Ripple doesn't need to take to Twitter to begin to get the momentum they need to find the right clarity in a regulatory agency for what they need to do. In fact, what they need to do is just ask Craig Phillips, who works there, was formerly at the Treasury, hey, can you call your buddy at the Treasury and get us a sit down? Because that's more the like. But at any rate, it's neat to see. What's even neater to see is this little write-up right here. The Federal Reserve shares details on FooWire distributed ledger experiment. Now, this is not very long, but let's read this because it's pertinent. The U.S. Federal Reserve published details about 2019 payments trial involving distributed ledger technology, specifically the HyperLedger Fabric blockchain software. The results were released alongside news that the Fed and the U.S. Central Bank is partnering with the MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, on a multi-year effort focused on central bank-issued digital currencies, or CBDCs. In statements, Fed Governor Lael Brainerd spoke about the Fed's work in this area to date, pointing to work conducted by researchers at the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. According to yesterday's test release, the so-called FooWire experiment was designed to test whether the technology is suited for payments applications, as the team noted. The team built the system using HyperLedger Fabric, a popular DLT platform, because it generally met the team's design requirements of a closed network, mature technology, and enterprise readiness. The experiment had highlighted the potential of DLT for certain payment uses, the quick speed with which a system could be implemented, to the potential simplicity of smart contracts and the range of functionality offered by such platforms. It further highlighted the need for more experimentation to understand the possibilities for wide-scale adoption and use of any DLT platform for payments. FooWire was described as a small scale and specifically focused on permission capabilities. That is, a system in which only select participants are allowed to transact. Such an approach mirrors what is in use today for most payment systems and, in some configurations, offers greater network security than a permissionless network, according to the write-up. At the outset, the network included 3 hypothetical organizations: a central bank, a government agency, and a commercial bank. Network administrators were responsible for approving and creating accounts and nodes to administer the ledger. The only asset that could be transferred between the nodes was an artificial asset called funds, the Fed team explained. Excuse me. Ultimately, the group found that the Fabric and some similar DLT platforms have potential payment uses, but stresses that more work is to be done in this area. The Federal Reserve continues to research the capabilities in such technologies and to identify risk and weaknesses associated with their use. Well, of course. What's interesting about this is that they weren't, the narrative has been, largely speaking, is people think that the U.S. is going to miss the boat. The Federal Reserve obviously has made it clear that they do not want to work in a public-private relationship. They want to do everything themselves. It's also been made very clear by not only Ripple, but, like Brian Brooks from the OCC and many others in Congress who want to see a public-private relationship because they understand that when it comes to innovation and developing things in this nature in a rapid way where you get the scalability, efficiency, and the security from certain technologies, it's best pursued by the private sector. Governments and banks are not innovators. Right? So at the end of the day, I think we get even closer to this. And the reason we do is because, again, I'm going to show you this probably often over the next coming weeks and maybe months. But this is a list of HyperLedger Fabric members. Let's take a look. Accenture. Again, Diana Adachi, who worked at Accenture at the time when she did due diligence on the company Ripple when it first got on the scene. American Express, which we know is working with Ripple. And I'm just naming a few here. There are many on this. I'm not going to try to name them all. Moving down the list, we see that actually Ripple and R3 are in this pile. Look at the amount of companies here. These are all huge companies. R3 right here. Ripple right here. So this little teeny experiment that went on with specifically the HyperLedger Fabric blockchain software, which is supported by all of these members that you see right here. All of these right here. Yeah. So the Fed's got a dirty little secret, and the dirty little secret is they've been at this game a lot longer than they're willing to tell us. And I'll tell you something else. I think we do see the public-private relationship because the reality is, as much as Jerome Powell might say he doesn't want one, they specifically worked with a public-private relationship by using the software that's supported by all of these members right here. Yep. And there's the one we really care about, right? And this one too. And Swift is in here as well. So really, really amazing stuff, guys. I have to say, you know, this to me just gets more clear by the day. Swift sitting right in the middle. No, they got the GPI plug-in that works again. Interfaces, R3, the whole bit. Allows for everything to happen. So this is where we're at. You know, I think we're getting closer. I still think, look, one of the things we got to pay attention to, August 26th, we're waiting for the courts to hear the class action lawsuit. The motion to dismiss has been filed. Hopefully, August 26th, we won't see a delay or a postponement. I hope we get a decision and we get the case dismissed. And hopefully, soon, sometime after that, in conjunction with that, we see some kind of designation or classification for crypto assets in general, and specifically for XRP. And I certainly believe, I'm going to hammer this home, XRP is a currency. And if in fact it is, the banks have already been given permission to carry crypto assets on their balance sheet, digital assets. So if XRP is a currency, I'm not sure what else they would really need to be told where they could really start to use it and feel comfortable about using it for payments and settlement. So that's where we're at today. I'm going to cut it right there. Guys, girls, hit the like and subscribe. Make sure you get on that newsletter. I'm telling you, there's going to be some great exclusive content on that. And make sure you check out the Pure VPN. Protect your anonymity online. I'll see you all on the next one. Take care.